Hey, welcome to Watchmen Waiting on the Lord. Today's April 21st. Um, Today's video is not my usual. We are saved through God's grace, not the works, not of works. But good works are still good. Remember that. They're still good. They don't save us. It's through Jesus Christ and what He did for us. And I don't know if you see my last video there. The difference between saving faith and if you see my last video, I just wanted to say that God can choose. You know, He says, I will have compassion on who I have compassion on, right? And we know that. So the worst of people can be saved. And in my last video, I wasn't saying like, you know, you have to do this, 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 and this, but the stuff in there that I say is true. So I think it's good for someone to turn away from their sins, you know. So the reason I'm making this today is a work, but it's a good work, out of my heart. I'm doing a fundraiser. I've done one before, which was successful. I did one in 2017 for my mother. Well, it wasn't directly for her. My mom was dying of cancer. And so I decided to go do a fundraiser for cancer in general, and like in my mother's name. And so I saw this. I saw a cause the other day, and I'll tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you this in a certain way. I'm looking to see if people would donate. I thought I would try. So I have started doing door-to-door canvassing, and I have got some donations so far. I've had about maybe 5 donations. So the reason, like, I've wanted to do this for quite a while, like another one. And I was watching a video, and I'm going to attach the video. Watch the video anyways, please, to give you an idea of what I'm doing. I saw it on CBN, so Catholic Broadcasting News, and when I saw this, I'm like, okay, that's the perfect idea. It doesn't cost barely any money, and it will save lives right away. Like, it'll save lives immediately, and you'll see why. So I'm going to read this, if you will. So this is called The Miracle of Clean Drinking Water. I'm just going to tell you my goal first. My goal is first it was to send water filters, good ones. You'll hear the statistics on them. Water filters, I can get them for half the price because it's a humanitarian cause. I was going to do it for Africa, but I'm like, you know, I don't know what you can trust and stuff, but if I decide to go with Africa, then it is a trustworthy place. It's called the Bucket Ministry, which you'll see in it. But for me, I'm like, okay, you know, I want to take stock of these, or I want to know where they're going. And then I realized where I live in Canada, so I live in Ontario, and First Nations all over Canada, a lot of them don't have clean drinking water. Like, you turn on the water and it's brown water. Like, that's horrible, and the long-term effects are cancer, birth defects, and so many GI illnesses. So I'm going to read this. So I've been looking for a worthy cause to do a fundraiser. This is my second time doing one. People are more apt to donate to a cause that they know for certain is going to help someone, right? Before this idea, I started looking over philanthropy. Without the mega rich, and so this is true, many establishments wouldn't exist, or they would be grossly underfunded. This is what I wrote down when I talk to people. Unfortunately, it's not regulated, and most of the money doesn't make its way to the poor and needy. So, for instance, Bill Gates gives $1 billion, say in 5 years, and he gives it out. Where does he give it out? So he gives it away, sure. But it goes there. What I read is what they're giving it to, like familiar places to them, like schools, like Berkeley and like all that type of stuff. And it doesn't make, it's like completely unbalanced. When I look at it, it seems corrupt, and a lot of it is. And a lot of them are just seeking for tax breaks, and that turns me off. And what I'm pertaining to is the super rich. I don't, like people looking for tax breaks who, aren't the mega rich. That's okay, because I know that helps. So wouldn't it be nice to know that your donations make a difference in an immediate sense? So what I'm doing, it can help someone that very day. Not only that, but being run by a trustworthy person. As I was searching for the perfect cause, so when I do this, I will show the proof. That's what I'm trying to do with this. I'll actually show the proof with it. I came across a Christian video about providing safe drinking water to African countries for cheap. What I found shocked me in a negative and positive light. If it wasn't for charities like this bucket ministry, there would be many people would be dead. And I'll give you the stats on that. So I am one of those people who wonders where billions of dollars goes from hardworking people. How do we know for certain, the money, you give to cancer, they give so many billions, right? Where does it really go? Or is it being skimmed from? Because when you're dealing with that kind of money, it's like, it's a good cause, but, you don't see many changes in these diseases. I know there have been, and I know people live longer with cancer. It's always a good thing to give to those causes because you have to, right? But what I'm saying is, it's so disproportionate. So this is what I saw, and this is the video that made me want to do this. A man went on a mission trip to Africa. When he asked the locals, he asked a girl, so he went to Africa, he's a Christian, but he wasn't that much into God, and but he just, he was doing a good mission, to do something good for people. And it was Uganda, and he asked a girl for a drink of water, and she took a glass, and she went down to a lake, a dirty lake, put it in, came back and gave him that, and the man was shocked, and the water was all brown. And so the man right there said, you can see there, he wasn't that much into God at all, but he said in that moment, and he was a businessman, I think he was a big businessman already, and he got an idea in his head. He said, I felt convicted by God to do something right there. When you're on those spots, when you're there on the scene, that's where you see, and get things done. So he felt convicted to do something. He expected the little girl to go to the refrigerator. That's what he says in the video, to get a bottle of water. In fact, most of the world's population doesn't have clean drinking water. Most of the world. So many preventable things for such a cheap price. So when he and his wife returned to Texas, his wife found a company online that makes water filters that strain 99.99% of all harmful bacteria, E. coli, typhoid, cholera, and all other GI effects. They spoke to the company in Florida who own the water filter business, and they struck a deal. The men's company is called the Bucket Ministry, so you can look that up. That is on YouTube. So here are the statistics. So I'm in Canada, so for one single water filter is $32. It's an all-in-one water filter that lasts for 10 to 20 years if it's cleaned properly. So you got to clean it every day. One single water filter can provide 1 million gallons of clean drinking water efficiently. Watch the video. Think of that. For 32 bucks, 1 million, like crystal clear glass of water. Think of how many people could use that one filter. They say it's probably good for one family, but it could probably use 10 or 20 families. To me, it almost sounded too good to be true. To people And I'm going to tell you about what happened when I canvassed to a certain someone the other day. To someone in Africa having this, okay, would be like them looking at gold, like a bar of gold. To us here in North America and Europe or wherever else, it would be like us seeing a bar of platinum on the ground. I'm not kidding. So to me, it almost sounded too good to be true. So in Uganda, these simple water filtration systems statistically saved one life, a $32 Canadian filter system, statistically in Uganda saved one life for one water filter. And unsafe water in Uganda was responsible for most of their hospital ER visits. They were so effective that the hospital in this video had to close down because it stopped waterborne illnesses, because most of those visits were because of that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the quality of life you're giving someone with such a simple thing? So for $32 you can possibly save a life, but you can be sure that your money will stop serious waterborne illnesses like malaria, typhoid, and typhoid. We're lucky to have clean drinking water. Pardon me a sec. So I contacted Sawyer Water Filtration Systems in Florida, and they said they're a humanitarian company, and that's good. They go out and they deliver a lot of these into Africa. You can look up Sawyer, you can look up this, and you can find out what they've done. Now look up the bucket ministry. It shows you they've given like many thousands of them. Because, oh yeah, what did it say? They still make profits because they're a company, but their goal is to help the unfortunate. So when you look at this, it's called the 0.1 Sawyer all-in-one filtration system. Sorry, it's very difficult to talk. If you look in a camping store, you look on Amazon or something, it's like $50. But because it's for a humanitarian cause, it's almost half that price, which is pretty amazing. I don't have to pay $50 for each one. So this is my goal. So yeah, I told you that at first I wanted to send them to Africa, but I wanted to know for sure, you know, they were being installed and where they were going and everything. There is no need for electricity with this thing. It's just a gravitational system. That's the beauty of it. So you can use it anywhere in a stream. You can put it in your toilet. You can put it anywhere except ocean water, because ocean water is salt. So you can use it anywhere. That's why camping people use it. So yeah. What did I say there? So preferably using a 5-gallon bucket on top. So the very top, you get a 5-gallon bucket or something, so you have enough water in it that it causes pressure. You attach the adapter to the bucket with the filter and hose, and it pours into another bucket below it by gravity. So you can put a bucket underneath it to catch the water. You can put a bottle, whatever you want. The idea is so simple and so effective, I couldn't turn it down. You'd be hard pressed to find another cause that changes life. So you know what, you see what I mean now about, like, it's immediate. This will help someone immediately. You wonder where your money goes with other stuff, and this saves lives. It's good to give money for cancer and stuff, right? And that probably does save lives. But do the comparison here. So many people are dying in Africa and other places because they simply don't have this. So it's like not having good water is like not having food. It's probably worse than that. So I wondered how cost effective it would be for me to purchase these and ship them of my own volition, because I ship from my house, eh? But you know, I want to raise a lot of them, and I don't know if I can trust. You know, it's hard to put when you do a lot of canvassing, you raise money, and if you can trust you want to do it yourself, right? You want to make sure. I've been phoning the First Nations and stuff, and I know a lot of them have been under water boil advisories since the 1990s. Like they're dealing with, well, it says birth defects, cancer, and a lot of GI illnesses. That all you have to do is pour this in. Yeah, this is what it says right here. So the federal government, so I don't think it's regulated, and they're so far up north. This is what Global News said. For years, First Nations across Canada have suspected that cases of skin conditions, stomach illnesses, cancer, bacterial contamination, birth defects, and even deaths. So in the long term, deaths, of course, and other illnesses like cancer. So my promise to you is that I'll deliver these life-changing filters to the First Nation communities that are most in need. I'll most definitely do that, and if anything changes, my whole point is that I'm going to get them to the people who need them. So that's what I'm doing. And so I'm not the best at doing this type of stuff. You know, like on because of my speaking, that's why. Going door to door isn't easy. But it's probably the best way to do it. So if you're looking for a good cause to donate, I'm going to leave a link. The only way I can do this, unless you're in Canada, because you can do e-transfer, is PayPal. I'll leave a PayPal link. If you decide to help, that's great. If not, that's great. I want you to see this video, so maybe you can decide to do something yourself. And if you do, and you go to the PayPal and you see a message, it might go to my candle business. That's just the title of my PayPal thing. It's called We're in Business. I sell candles, beeswax candles. So if you want to help, I'm looking to directly help someone. I'm in contact with these people, or I'm trying to get in contact with them, emailing, all that type of stuff, and I'm going to make sure I get them to them. Thanks, guys.